Hey YouTube, welcome to day 2 of 31 Days of Tarot. Today we are asked to rate our top 5 tarot decks of 2019. And I am going to be sharing with you decks that I acquired in 2019, not necessarily published in that year. So to start with, probably my favorite, in a lot of ways has, I don't want to say replaced, but in the same way that the Numinous was my 2018 deck, Lightseers has been my 2019. Now, to be fair, it came out pretty late-ish in 2019 to be a deck for the year, but this deck is amazing. I'm going to be posting a review of it. I know I haven't done a lot of deck reviews on this channel. I'm going to get back to them, but I'll be posting a review of this one in, I think, February, once the 31 Days of Tarot is over. But this is really just a deck that I can turn to for absolutely anything. It's given amazing soul-deep readings. It also can be just the deck you grab cards from. I find it to be extremely versatile. The colors, the art is amazing. The interpretations are amazing. So this deck, no question. I would say the Spirit Speak, which is one that a lot of folks have had for a while, but I acquired in 2019. This is not one I expected to be what it is, because it is, a little more abstract than the kind of thing I would normally jump into, and kind of sketchy, and actually the kind of style that I don't like in my own art, but I found that it really resonated with me and was a really good kind of intuitive reading deck, a good connect directly to intuition deck. I used this when I was taking the Tarot for the Tarot 4 self-care course this year with, wow, Blink, I know this person's name, Sarah Chappell. I was like, what? With Sarah Chappell, great course, by the way, I recommend, but this was the deck I used, and I found it to be a surprise favorite. Let's see. Another sort of all-around good one, the Fountain Tarot. This is another one that a lot of folks have had for practically ever. I'm not normally drawn to these kind of blurry photography decks, but I found that there was something about this that is reads very deep for me. It's also an air element kind of deck, which it's probably the only tarot that I have that really connects to me to the element of air. Contrast with a more earthy deck that I've been looking at for a while and finally pulled the plug on in 2019, the Marigold. This one has been mixed in terms of reading experience, in that certain, a couple of the first readings I did with this deck were so clear, so spot on, really good shadow and personal digging kind of work. And then I've also had readings with this one where I honestly didn't really know what was up, or there wasn't anything to grab onto in the image. It is kind of a pippish deck, but I think there's something there. It's just that this deck can go really deep, so sometimes you might not know what's going on right away. And then finally, sort of a dark horse, one I haven't seen talked about nearly enough on YouTube, is the Many Queens, which is one of my favorite. When people ask about, which way does that go? There you go. When people ask about queer decks, this one doesn't come up very often, so I always mention it, because it's just got a really cool representation. It's kind of in between the abstractness of the Spirit Speak and something more representational. And I just love the humans that show up in this deck. So those are my top 5. I am going to just mention a few honorable mentions. One is one that I wouldn't necessarily put as my top decks, but it is important to me. The Modern Witch came out in fall of 2019. It is important to me because it has replaced my Smith Rider-Waite, the one that I was working with, the Radiant Rider-Waite. Because I wanted to have sort of as a study deck, an example deck, or if I really just want to pull a milquetoast, middle of the road, Smith Rider-Waite. Not to say it's really milquetoast, but bog standard tarot image. I wanted to have a deck for that, but I don't like how white the Smith Rider-Waite is, you know, particularly knowing that, like, the artist is a black woman but working for white men. So I think this, in a lot of ways, the Modern Witch Tarot does modernize it, but it also, I think, like, lifts out what is really in the cards, which is a universal experience, and represents that artistically with a diversity of human images. So the Modern Witch Tarot gets an honorable mention. The other two that get an honorable mention are decks that I did acquire in 2019 but haven't really worked with yet. But I think they're going to be favorites, and I won't be able to mention them for 2020 because I won't have acquired them in 2020, so I'm just going to throw them out there. And that is, one, the Herb Crafters. I spent some time during my sabbatical studying the book for the Herb Crafters and found it really rich, as people had said. Really interesting system that's used. There's a system for the numbers as well as the suits and also the core cards that relates not just to plant energy and plant magic, but actually to the way that plants are worked with. It references conservation, it references native, like, land sovereignty and the dynamics at play when we overharvest, when white people specifically harvest sacred plants. Like, there's just a lot in that deck, so I really think that's going to be a really important deck for me. And then the other one that I haven't even opened yet is the Way Home Tarot, because I've seen so many images of it and I just have a feeling I'm gonna love it. So I'm gonna put those out as honorable mentions. Please feel free to leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy these kinds of videos, because we'll be doing tarot every day for the month of January.